Hello and welcome to the Google Hangout with Wildcat. Welcome. We are so excited to have you here and to answer your questions. Also, we're so excited because Wildcat Welcome is officially in 23 days, which is ridiculous. We're almost there. But before then, we just wanted to give you this chance to ask any questions you may have about the first year experience, about Wildcat Welcome, what you should be doing this summer, really anything you would like to ask. Just a quick reminder for those who haven't tuned in before, you can ask questions by tweeting at us, just with the hashtag WWHangout. You can also send Facebook messages to our account on Wildcat, which is Wildcat Welcome. You can also email us at wildcatwelcome@u.northwestern.edu. If you're feeling particularly bold, you can also Snapchat us. Someone did that last month, and it was really cool. But before we get into it, I wanted to give time for our lovely PAs or peer advisors to introduce themselves. And so without further ado, I'm going to let Tyler kick us off.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Jazz. I'm from Frankfort, Illinois, and I'm a peer advisor. I'm majoring in communication studies through the School of Communications, and I'm the class of 2017. This summer, I've been working two jobs, one at the dollar store and also as a receptionist at a marketing company. So yeah, hey.
Hey guys, my name's Chris. I'm from Putnam Valley, New York. I'm going to be a second year in PA, so this is my second time doing this. I'm a vocal performance major in the School of Benin and with a musical theater certificate in School of Com. I'm going to be a rising junior, so I'm class of 2017, and this summer I was actually in Evanston taking classes, and now I'm home in New York just hanging with my family before school comes back.
Hi, I'm Maureen. I'm from Barrington, Illinois, and I'm majoring in psychology and economics, both in Weinberg, class of 2017. Currently, I'm in Evanston, and this past summer, I've been working in the marketing department in a research lab in Kellogg, and also in a psych department on campus.
Hi everyone, my name is Esteban. I'm from Binghamton, New York. I am a second year peer advisor. I'm majoring in civil engineering in the McCormick School of Engineering. And this summer I'm currently in Evanston on campus. I was working with residential services.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, although I am in Evanston this summer. I am a second year PA as well. I am a social policy major in the School of Social Policy and Education, or Education and Social Policy, and I'm class of 2017. And this summer, I've been doing two things on campus. I've been working through the Farley Center for Entrepreneurship at Northwestern's new accelerator for startups with a startup there, and I've also been doing some research on slum development and urban development in like 1860s Cincinnati.
All right, awesome. So as I mentioned before, we have 23 days before Wildcat Welcome, so I'm sure a lot of things are going through your mind. But so the first question is going to be, so now that we have 23 days left until Wildcat Welcome, what did you do during your 23 days? What were you thinking about? What were you feeling at the time? So yeah, anyone want to take that question?
Sure, I can start off with that. So I definitely remember during that time starting to get really, really excited about coming to Northwestern. I mean, this was starting about the time that all my friends who were at semester schools were getting ready to go, and I was just like sitting at home contacting my roommate, contacting my PA group, just really trying to communicate with people, get to know people before coming. And then I got to spend the 2 weeks right before Wildcat Welcome doing SAW, which is a pre-orientation program. And that was like a really fun time to be able to get on campus a little bit right before Wildcat Welcome started.
I'll also answer that question. I was so excited to get ready to come to Northwestern, and like Esteban was saying, all my friends were leaving, so sad. But I stayed on the Facebook page, and I messaged a lot of people, which was kind of embarrassing when we got to school because people were like, hey, you're Jazz from Facebook. I'm like, oh my goodness. But it was fine. I also, with Esteban, was at SAW, which was the pre-orientation program, and it was a lot of fun. So.
I'll answer that as well. I was a little bit different. I was actually pretty nervous to come to college. I was fortunate enough that 2 of my best friends from high school were also on quarter system schools, so they were there pretty late. So I wasn't completely by myself. But even though I had friends at home who were entertaining, I was incredibly nervous to come to school because I'm very close with my family. And so I was worried. And I'm also not particularly good with change, so I was thinking a lot about kind of what that change would be like. And even though I'm from Minneapolis, so it's not a super long distance away, it was still pretty far to be going away from my family and for a significant period of time. So I was having a little bit of separation anxiety, but I spent a lot of time with my family and with my friends, and that helped a lot. And I was still really excited to come to school, but I definitely know that a lot of people may be thinking about sort of that anxiety that comes with the excitement.
Awesome. So as you may have noticed, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I believe that Tyler, one of our other PAs, his mic is finally working. So I'm going to turn it back over so he can introduce himself really quickly.
Hi, I'm Tyler. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm happy to be on here. I am from West Harrison, New York. I am a second-year peer advisor studying journalism and political science in the Medill School of Journalism. And currently this summer, I'm in Washington, D.C., where I'm interning at USA Today on the breaking news desk. And happy to be joining you, and can't wait to meet all of you in 23 days.
Great, thanks, Tyler. So the next question that was submitted is, does anyone have any study tips or time management advice, especially as the year goes on?
So for like study tips, I think it's really important to like study a little bit at a time so you don't have just a chunk to cram in like the night before the exam. So definitely time manage, which is super important, and get a little bit in every night. And as for time management, just like make a schedule for yourself so you know that you need to complete your homework. Like don't think just because you don't have class until 2 days later that you should do it the night before. Just try to really stay on top of all your schoolwork, and that'll help out.
Awesome. So the next question is going to be about TVs and elders. So, is it possible to bring a TV to your elder room? Does anyone have any experience with that or any insight?
Yeah, I can answer that. So Elder has TVs on each floor of the building, like in the main lounge, and then if you're on the L side of Elder, which is like there's a divider, and then the L side also has their own TV in their own lounge on every floor. So it's not completely necessary to have your own TV, but I know I have friends that had TVs in their rooms, and I don't think you can't get cable or anything, but if you want it for like watching shows or playing video games or anything, or just like you can hook it up to your computer. I know a lot of people that did that, just wanted to watch movies. It's definitely possible, and there are ways to like orientate the room. You just might have to like bunk a bed and then put it under the bed. That's what my friends did, or you can just put it on like a coffee table or something. But it's definitely possible if you want to give it a shot.
I'll also answer that question. I didn't live in Elder my freshman year. I lived in 1835 Hinman. and they did have TV, or one TV in the main lounge downstairs, which was pretty cool because a group of people could get together and watch it. But I haven't had a TV in my room freshman or sophomore year, and I was completely fine. There's always programming going on at Northwestern, always something to do. So I just prefer getting out of my room, meeting new people, and finding something new to do, which is always happening.
Great. And so the next question is going to be, when does one join student organizations, and what is that process really like?
All right, I've got that. So if you're anything like me, you probably have a list in your head of like all the hundreds of student groups that you want to join. Like you were probably involved in so many different things in high school, and you want to just jump right in once you get to college. But it's definitely not the same. Student groups have very different involvement levels, and you'll want to like just take some time to step back, like really think about like what it is that truly interests you and what you're going to want to explore coming to college. The great thing is that during Wildcat Welcome, we're going to have this thing called an Involvement Expo, which is a little bit different than an activities fair in that you're going to be able to go and see different themes of involvement. So it's anywhere from like just intramural sports to Greek life to academic, and then you'll see kind of like a general overview of like what that type of involvement is like. And then once classes start, once you kind of have some time to breathe and settle into classes, there's going to be an actual activities fair where you can go and see like individual clubs and be able to sign up for their listservs, and that's a way for clubs to be able to email you and to get you involved in their programs.
Awesome, thank you. So next question is very apropos, considering the football season is right around the corner. And so someone's wondering, is it possible to get into the football games before Wildcat Welcome? Does anyone want to take that question?
Yeah, I can definitely take that one. So great news. The answer to that question is yes. All Northwestern sporting events are free for students, which is an amazing thing because you can support your classmates and show your purple pride at all different athletic events. So for the way that we get into our sporting events is with our wild card. And even though you haven't started school yet, you can still pick it up at the wild card office, which is in Norris. It's open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you should have submitted your photo online, and then you can just go pick it up. And the student section, you can enter, I don't know the exact gate number, but you'll definitely see signs for it, and you just show them your wild card and they'll scan it and you'll be able to get in. Also, if you're not in the area, don't worry, because all new students will be going to the football game the first Saturday. You'll move in on a Friday, and that Saturday you'll meet your PA group and go to the football game. There's an awesome new student tailgate, and then you'll all get to run on the field as part of the Wildcat Dash. So definitely get excited, because you will all be getting to go to a football game, which is a really fun and awesome way to get started and show off your purple pride.
Yes, the football games are absolutely a hoot, and it's going to be an awesome time. So the next question is for all those individuals who may not be sure what they want to major in yet. What should you be doing right now? Should you be worrying at all? And what really is the process to kind of get from undeclared to declared?
I'll take that one. Guys, if you haven't decided your major yet, don't worry. It's okay. You have time to figure it out. What's great about Northwestern is that we have to take a lot of distribution credits, and so you can take many classes and try to figure out what it is that you're interested in before actually deciding on a major. In addition to that, we do have advising during Wildcat Welcome, where you'll meet with your academic advisor, who will just help you pick classes, help you think about what you may possibly want to do in your future. And if you pick something this year and decide that you don't want to do it next year, that's completely fine. You will graduate on time, so don't worry.
Awesome, thank you for that great answer. And so now that the Northwestern video has just been released, what are you all thinking about that video right now?
It talks a lot about Northwestern and how multifaceted different students are, and how like you don't really there's like the and to everybody's, not everyone, that's a hard thing to say, but like many students' personalities and different things that people are involved in. I really like that because I think it is true of a lot of people of Northwestern. I think it's true of a lot of people in general. And I'm sure many of students' friends at home, you know, people have different not only what they're involved in and what they're studying, but also just different interests they have, whether it's like, I'm an engineer, but I have a love for movies, that kind of thing. I know for me, like, I'm a social policy major, but one of my passions is baking, and I also play piano. So everybody has their niche and their different aspects of their personality that really make them multifaceted, and I think that's very true at Northwestern. I would say people also have a lot of different things they're involved in here, and that they're not necessarily related. Just because I'm in social policy doesn't mean that the only clubs that I'm a part of are things that have to do with policy or politics. There are a lot of different clubs, even like Happiness Club, that may not fall into a particular like genre of academics. But that also doesn't necessarily mean you have to do something that doesn't relate to what you're interested in or like what you're studying. There are a lot of different options. It's just about finding what that right fit for you is.
And just jumping on to add, I definitely agree with what Emily said, but I think what also really rings true is this idea of taking your own Northwestern direction. When you come to Northwestern, there are so many different ways to experience your 4 years, what you're involved with, what classes you decide to take, how you experience Evanston and Chicago and all that the university has to offer. So I think that video really encapsulates the vast amount of opportunities that you're afforded as a Northwestern student, and also the ability to really take time and figure out what you want to do. You don't need to know right away what clubs you want to join or what classes you want to take or how you want to spend your 4 years, and I think that's what's really great and what you should be excited about at Wildcat Welcome is that we give you this really good base of understanding what the university has to offer, and over the course of your first year and throughout your time at Northwestern, you'll really see all the different ways you can spend your 4 years and get really excited for all the different opportunities that you'll have as a Northwestern student.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So now the next question, a lot of people are wondering about their fall quarter and what their course load is going to look like. And so the next question is, what does that course load look like in the fall for first-year students?
I can answer that. So for freshmen coming into, and transfers, most people take a normal course load of 4 classes. For Weinberg specifically, you get your freshman seminar, and those people will also be in your PA group. So woo! You'll probably take a language, and then the other 2 are just whatever you want to do. I personally took like an English class and something else I don't even remember, but it's like the other 2 are, unless you're pre-med, in which case you'll take math and chem, but they're very open to whatever you think you want to follow up on and see whatever you want to explore, maybe do some distros or maybe do some things that'll count towards your majors. It's really up to you for those, but for Weinberg you definitely should do, well, you have to do your seminar and then probably recommended a language.
Just adding on that, I think that it definitely depends on what school you're in and what your major is. Like for me, I'm in B&N, so I took we had to take a lot of prerequisites, especially freshman year. I ended up having 5 classes every day fall quarter, but I would say that's definitely not typical. But it definitely depends on for me, I had a lot of class time, but maybe some of those classes just took up a lot of time and weren't necessarily heavy load of homework. Whereas some people might have less class time, but then you're expected to do more outside of class. So just word of mouth.
Great. And then another thing you may be wondering about to get that fall quarter course load is, of course, registration. So as you know, you'll be registering for classes on the Friday of Wildcat Welcome, which does beg the question, will we have time to get books, and how do we get those books? And so does anyone want to answer that question?
Sure. Yeah, so it can definitely seem like there's not much of a turnover time between once you register for classes and then when classes start. The good thing is that most professors are very understanding of that and will basically on that first day and really throughout the whole first week will be giving out their syllabus and then explaining what are the books that are required, what are the books that are suggested, and most of the time there are multiple ways to access. Some professors will put their materials online and then you can print out or just read it. The great thing is that Norris in the Student Center, there is a bookstore on the ground floor that you can buy books from, and it's really convenient because it's on campus, so the location of it is really nice. And of course, as you go through, always contact, your peer advisor to get other tips on how to get books as you prepare for classes.
A couple other options. A lot of students I know use Amazon because of the quick turnaround time for shipping. But one nice thing that doesn't cost as much money is that Northwestern has a great relationship with the other Big Ten schools, and so there's something called interlibrary loan, which means that students at any of the Big Ten universities can request to pull books from other of the Big Ten university libraries. So even if Northwestern doesn't carry a book that's required for your class or another student has already checked it out, you can go on to the Northwestern Library webpage, and there's a link for interlibrary loan, and then you can navigate through that and try to find the books through that website. And the period that you have them out actually lasts the entire quarter. So I know a lot of students use that to get their books as well, and I've used it multiple times. It's very convenient. The one thing about that is it does take a little bit longer to get the books. So having an alternative for about a week so that you can at least keep up with the readings while you're waiting for your own books to get in, it's a really great option.
Great. And so as we've mentioned many times during this Hangout, Wildcat Welcome is in 23 days. And so what are you most excited for Wildcat Welcome?
I can go ahead and take that question. Being that this is my second year as a peer advisor, I've gone through it once, and last year it was incredible, and we had a lot of fun. And this year there are a few changes which I'm very excited about. One being Night at the Museum, and that's the night where Northwestern students, new students, peer advisors, everyone takes a trip to the museum. Also, one of my favorites is the fact that Northwestern's so amazing, and we shut down Six Flags, and we don't have to wait in line for rides, which is so cool. Like, you can go once and then go again and again if you want. So, super excited. I can't wait for you guys to get to campus.
Yeah, adding onto that, Jazz hit it. That first Saturday, I'm so excited because we're going to get to meet, you're going to get to meet your peer advisor, and then we're going to go to the football game, and then it's going to be the night at the museum, and there's just so many exciting activities that first day. So that day I'm really excited for. I'm also really excited because this year we get the opportunity to see 2 nights of student performances. So in the past, sometimes you've only been able to get to see either Rhythm Nation or Acapella Fest. This time, you really get to see both of them. Both of those are incredible performances. The student groups, the performing student groups are so talented. So I'm really excited to be able to go to both performances this year. But yeah, Six Flags 2 is so much fun. So there's so much to look forward to. You should all be really excited for that.
Great. And now, was anyone really anxious or nervous about meeting new people? I know I was. I didn't really know anyone coming into college. So does anyone else want to take that question and expand?
Yes. So I know it's like super duper nerve-wracking to get here and not know anyone, because that's what was my situation. Like, I even went random for my roommate, and so it was like really scary, and I didn't know how I would make friends. And like, when you move in, there's programming by the res hall or community or college that you move into to like get you to meet people. But I remember just being super nervous, like, oh my god, like, am I making friends? Do these people like me? Like, it's definitely super scary, but everyone's in the same boat. And once you start like hanging around with the people in your res hall more, if you're hanging around with your PA group, I know my PA group just loved each other, so we spent a lot of time together. It's very hard coming in just alone, but it definitely gets better once you get more into the rhythm of things. You start meeting some people, and then you find some awesome friends.
Great. And so does anyone have any just closing thoughts or advice for all of our incoming new students as they prepare for their wonderful journey here at Northwestern?
Yeah, I have a lot of advice. I would say the best one is that you're going to college, so what I did, I wanted to try something new. So I would just say to everyone out there, try something during your time, especially first year, because this is the time, to try something that you think you would never do before, either whether that's a class or a group or a club or whatever. But give it a try because you might end up loving it.
I'd definitely say be patient. I know, especially at the beginning, while you may find friends and people you like to hang out with and people you hang out with in your dorm and grab meals with, it does feel different from the friends that you may have had in high school, who some of whom you may have known since you were little and whose families you know and whose siblings you know. And it takes a while to develop similar relationships in a new environment like college where it's not exactly the same. So I definitely say be patient and be willing to talk to other people about how they're feeling, because you'd be surprised that a lot of people are in the same boat, and it definitely feels better when you know you're all in it together.
I would also like to add that I think it's really important to, as you come to college, be ready to let go of your expectations. Whether that's like you come in thinking, oh, I'm going to be pre-med, or like this is the major that I've set on, and this is like I know exactly what I'm going to do. You're going to find so many opportunities to challenge what you think about yourself, where you think about your place in the world, and that can be scary. It definitely can feel like you're kind of like reinventing yourself or seeing yourself in a new light. But take that opportunity to really explore yourself and be surprised when you find something new and exciting.
I think my biggest piece of advice is when you're in the classroom, don't be afraid or don't be upset or too hard on yourself if you don't get the grade that you want. We're all very smart and intelligent students. We got into Northwestern, guys, so congrats. But if you get a C, like, it's going to be all right. Like, you're going to be fine. I'm sure you can make it up. There's a way you can talk to someone, professors with office hours. Us peer advisors are always willing to help. People in the new student and family programming office, like, there's always someone that's willing to help you bring that grade up, so don't stress. It's okay. It's a C, but it's okay.
My advice would be to not have a timeline. Just because other people look like they're like making their best friends by the end of the first day, or just like after first week of classes, other people just seem like they have everything down, and you don't. Just don't think there's a certain time that you need to have everything about your college life sorted out into. Like, you'll continue getting into the schedule of things into like winter quarter and spring quarter, and also like you will continue meeting new people all throughout freshman year and also beyond that. Like, I didn't meet my best friend until winter quarter of freshman year. Shout out to you, Dolly. Thanks for all the tweets. But yeah, don't think that just because nothing's happening like in the first week or so that you're falling behind the experience, because it's truly all about you and like what you feel comfortable doing and how your experience is shaping up.
And the last thing that I would add is just really come in with an open mind. You're going to meet so many new people with so many different experiences and so much to bring to every table, whether that's in the classroom or just having lunch in your residence hall or just walking to class. There's so much that you can learn from your peers and so much that you can get out of the Northwestern experience, and just come and get ready to learn. And that's learning outside the classroom and inside the classroom. So come in with an open mind and just be really excited. Northwestern is an incredible place where you're going to make some really awesome memories and meet some amazing people. So really just get excited and come with an open mind.
Awesome, yeah, and they really hit it all. Everyone's advice was really fantastic. The one thing I would add, and it really kind of is an echo of everything that everyone just said, but really, as a rising senior now, time does go by pretty fast, so just take everything a day at a time. And that means don't get overwhelmed with everything happening at one time, but also savor each moment that you have. It's really an amazing experience that you have here at Northwestern. You're surrounded by amazing people, so really experience that and live in the moment would be my best advice. So with that, we are actually going to wrap up the Hangout. Thank you so much for all the questions and for all the tweets. We really appreciate them. This is the last Hangout of the summer. However, there will be a special Hangout on Wednesday, September 2nd at 9 p.m. Central Time if you want to grab your calendars. And that will be with the entire board of directors. So that will be about a week or so before move-in. And so we'll just be talking about the different experiences that you can have, and about Wildcat Welcome as well. But thank you so much once again. It has been a pleasure. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us through all the forums I mentioned earlier in the presentation: Twitter, Facebook, email, Snapchat if you want, and we'll try to get those answered as quickly as possible. But thank you so much. Bye.